Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Miggy Writes Metal. Today we're going to be talking about EQ, why you need to understand it. We're not going to be diving into instruments like the last video about compression. If you want to go check that video, look at it on this side, whichever side YouTubers do it on. So you'll see a little card come up. But anyway, if you want to check out compression, go check out this video. This one's going to be about EQ and understanding an EQ. So we're not going to dive into instruments. We're just going to pretty much go over an EQ curve. This is really basic, so if you already know this stuff, you could skip over this video, or if you want to recap, then this is the video for you. So we're doing this because I've heard a lot of mixes from some beginning producers where it's like they're really harsh, thin sounding, or they're really boomy. And today I want to kind of show you guys just a basic EQ curve so you guys don't suck at what you're doing. So here we go. Let's jump into Logic. All right, so here we are. We're in Logic now. Don't worry about any of this stuff. We're not going to be looking at any instruments. We're just going to be looking at this right here. This is your basic parametric EQ. Now, this is a godsend to mixing, or it could be your worst nightmare if you don't understand what you're doing when you pull these EQ. It's a very powerful thing to make instruments fit together. So now we're going to talk about the frequencies on a spectrum. I like to separate my EQ into 4 sections. So you have your lows, you have your low mids, which is about this area right here. Then you have your mids, which would be somewhere around these 2 frequencies. And then over there you have your highs. Every single number on here from 20K all the way down to 20 hertz. That's the full frequency spectrum. Now, you also need to understand that every single one of these frequencies is a note. It is a note that you play on your instrument. So, but without getting too complicated, let's go into an EQ. Let's see what the bands do and how it can help you for your mixes. We have 3 types of ways that we can EQ something. So the first one, the most basic one, would be a bell. This is the most common thing when everybody sees an EQ. So pretty much what a bell does is that it brings up or down a frequency. Now, you need to understand this for your sake. All EQ is volume up or down on a certain frequency. That's all it is. That's every single EQ does the same way. Do some of them do it a little bit differently? Yes, but we're not going to get that advanced today. We're just going to talk about a normal, everyday parametric EQ. But you need to understand that every EQ, that's all it does. Let's say, for example, you go into, the 2K and you go, hey, I want to hear this frequency more. You bring it up. Hey, maybe this frequency is kind of hissing too hard. It's too loud. You bring it down. You can see that represented by here. Let's see if I go 2K and I want to bring it down 10 dB. dB is volume. So essentially, that's all you're doing. You're bringing down or you're bringing up gain. That goes for any frequency. Doesn't matter how you do it on a plugin, on a hardware equipment. It's all the same thing. So there's different ways that you can use this, right? You sweep around, find your frequencies, and cut them out. Well, you could also make it wider, and that's represented by this number down here. This is what we call the Q. When the Q is higher, the band is narrower. When the Q number is lower, the Q is wider. Here we're going to move over to the other very common one, and this is called a high pass. We got a high pass down here, and we have a low pass down here. Let's start with the high pass. Now, this is probably going to be the most complicated thing that you guys are going to learn today, but all a high pass really is that it cuts the low end and only lets the high pass. I know it sounds kind of backwards, but because you're working with the low end, you're cutting out the lows, but essentially you're cutting out the lows to let the highs go through. So this is what a high pass filter is. It's just letting all the high noises, the high frequencies go through while cutting the low ones. And the opposite goes for the low pass. The low pass does the same thing. So you're cutting out the frequencies on the high end and letting the lower frequencies resonate through. That's as complicated as it's going to get. It's a little bit backwards, but whatever. It is what it is. We got to work with what we got. And then we have a shelf. Now, a shelf, it's kind of like it kind of works as your high pass and low pass. You'll have a low shelf, and you'll have a high shelf. But as you can see, the way that it cuts the frequencies is a little bit different. So like, let's say, for example, it's very common. Let's say I have a kick drum, and I kind of want the kick drum to have a bit more like boominess and body to it. Well, you can do that here by boosting it. Or let's say I want it to have more snap. You could do it. You could bring it here. This is commonly also used on vocals if you want to like bring up some of the air over here. And essentially, guys, yeah, that's how an EQ works. This was very basic, very bare bones. I hope that you guys understood this. If you have any questions about EQ or compression, leave me some comments below. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Come on, guys. Hit the follow button, the subscribe button, the follow button. I don't know. I'm new to this YouTube stuff. I'm not really, I don't know the lingo yet. We're getting there. But if you liked the video, if it helped you out, let me know. If I got something wrong, let me know too, because sometimes I have a tendency of rambling on. I want to give out more information than what is kind of necessary, so I start rambling and I lose my mind. I lose track of whatever I'm saying. But anyway, that's what makes us all kind of cool and different. So besides that, guys, I hope you guys take care. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something today. I'm gonna have some more videos coming out on production stuff. Eventually we are going to start moving into doing individual instruments, so I am going to be moving over to drums, guitars, bass, vocals, that kind of stuff. That stuff is kind of in the works with this track over here. And with that said, Miggy out.